Election day is fast approaching. It's time to meet the candidates. Tonight, you'll meet the second of 5 people running for Richmond's mayor's office. Justin Griffin is joining me now to talk about his plans for the River City. Mr. Griffin, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us, what is this election about?
To me, the reason I'm in this election is because I believe the people of Richmond deserve better. Every 4 years, we get the same promises from people running for mayor, but nothing happens, nothing changes. And so I'm in this to get better schools, better roads, better city services.
And so obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic right now. How do you judge how the city has done with the COVID pandemic?
Yeah, so if you look at my website, griffinformayor.com, I had a coronavirus action plan from the very beginning that laid out point by point what I would be doing. So I think we were slow on the uptake to get things working. And I think
testing and
testing and tracing. And I think the biggest thing, what we still need to be doing, is focusing in on those who are most vulnerable. The elderly populations, those with compromised immune systems. Right from the beginning, I worked with my church to set up a delivery program for those that needed to be in quarantine and that the disease would affect more. So we need to be doing that, working with community partners citywide.
And so we're also hearing that right now the cases are trending up for the first time in this last week or so. What about the business end of things? As you know, the hospitality industry, especially restaurants, but small businesses across this area have been decimated, as they have across the country, of course. How do you bring them back online? Is, as you mentioned before, streamlining the bureaucracy, is that how you bring them back? What do we do for small business?
Yeah, so my day job is I'm a small business attorney. I've worked with over 500 small businesses all over Virginia. I'm not a politician. So I'm here to try and help and to serve the people of Richmond. Small businesses in particular, like you said, have been hit hard. So what we need to be doing is first restoring confidence in the safety of living and doing business in Richmond. And then we need to make the city more competitive with our neighbors. Right now, it is nearly impossible to get permits and inspections to do any kind of business with City Hall. And our business license taxes are higher than the surrounding counties. So we need to lower those and actually make it so that you can work with City Hall so we can bring businesses back, jobs and opportunities into the city.
And you also are a vocal opponent of the Navy Hill Development Project early on.
Right.
And you questioned the mayor's numbers, for example, how many jobs and how much revenue it would bring in. What were the big issues with that project? It was $1.5 billion, obviously it was huge.
Right, so for me, like I said, I'm a small business attorney dealing with numbers all the time. I also have a background in accounting. So when I looked at the financial projections, I said, wait a second, this doesn't say what they say it says. And where it does say what they say it says, these projections are ridiculous. They were projecting more annual non-tenant attendance than Charlotte, Raleigh, Charlottesville, and Baltimore combined. And so let's have an honest conversation. Let's stop trying to pull one over on the city to build a resume so that you can run for higher office. And I think that separates me from everyone else in this race, is that I'm in this to serve the people of Richmond, to actually do the job of mayor, to get the city working for the people and getting our tax dollars put to efficient use for a change.
Social unrest. We saw all summer long in the wake of the killing of George Floyd on Memorial Day in Minneapolis, marches, protests. Do you believe that racial injustice is a major issue in Richmond?
And when we look at inequality or racial injustice, particularly in the city of Richmond, we got to look at the root cause issues of those inequalities. And for me, the biggest cause of that we are suffering with is a failing school system. In the last 4 years, our graduation rates have gone from 80% to 70% in a school system that's 86% people of color. And so we're failing those kids, and that's what's perpetuating things like the cycle of poverty and the racial wealth gap. So that's why I have a comprehensive plan for the school system to completely change the way that we think about public schooling here in Richmond, so that we can start uplifting people and moving us forward as a city.
And policing, that's another aspect of some of the protests that we saw, protests against police brutality. Does Richmond have a policing problem? And do you believe that there's certain reforms that need to be made?
Yeah, I don't think that we necessarily have a strong police brutality problem here in Richmond. Obviously, nobody's perfect. The vast majority of police officers are in it for the right reasons. They want to protect, they want to serve. So let's work with our officers instead of demonizing all of them to try and make our communities safe. I've been out talking to people in all neighborhoods here in Richmond, and particularly in the high crime areas. We've seen 22 deaths in the last 2 months. We've had 65 homicides in the last year. And to put that in perspective, we've had 62 COVID deaths. And so we need to talk to the people in those neighborhoods. They want more police presence. They want safe neighborhoods because that's what everybody in this city deserves.
All right. Sadly, we are out of time on this part of our interview with Justin Griffin, candidate for Richmond mayor. We're going to be joining him again at the bottom of the hour at 7:30 on Facebook. So if you have questions, please pose them on our CBS 6 Facebook page as we continue the discussion at 7:30 with Justin Griffin. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you in a moment.